The digestive enzymes in your gut, about 50% of them come from your sense of smell. That's why if you smell something delicious, you start salivating, you get hungry. If you're smelling fragrances, your gut has no idea what's coming in, and your body doesn't even produce the saliva in your mouth.
You're listening to the Digest This podcast, and I'm your host, Bethany Cameron. What if I told you the air you breathe affects your digestion? The scents and smells actually alter your digestive enzymes in either a good or bad way, depending on if the quality of air you're breathing is toxic or not. That's just one of many topics we cover in today's episode with Mike Feldstein, owner and creator of the air scrubber Jaspr, which is the brand of the air purifiers I have in my own home. These are proven to eliminate 100% of mold in the air within 2 hours and show real-time air quality. Mike gives tips to everyone buying a home and what to do and look for, what the dirtiest business bacteria is lurking in. Hint, it's not your home, not your daycare or nurseries, not your doctor's offices or even gyms. Yes, these places still do carry a lot of bacteria and viruses. However, Mike exposes what place is the worst. We also talk about how fragrance is the new smoking, Airbnbs, hotels, and solutions to cleaner air wherever you are. I also have a discount for everyone listening that will get you $400 off unlimited Jaspers. So stay tuned until the very end and listen, because this offer is only good for 1 week after this episode airs. And this offer is even better than their Black Friday deal. All right, Mike, you are back for the second time. And if you guys missed last episodes when Mike came on the show, definitely go back and listen to that. But before we even get into the weeds, you know the drill. I like to start my podcast with rapid fire yes or no questions, and you can only answer yes or no. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First question, yes or no. If you can't smell it, does it mean the air is clean?
No.
Do air fresheners make the air more dirty?
Yes.
Is it best to always have the windows open for the freshest air?
No.
Are we making ourselves more sick when we put the car heater on?
Only yes or no, but there's some things are situational. So that one if it has to be a yes or no, I will pass on that one. It's nuanced.
A pass. Okay. That's a first, a pass. I like it. All right. Next question. Yes or no. Are most air purifiers on the market a waste of money?
Yes.
All right. And last question. This is a multi-answer question. All right.
Like multiple choice.
Multiple choice. And
Sweet.
I'll give you the choices. Where is the most unclean air? A, doctor's offices. B, dentist's office. C, veterinary office. D, the gym. Or E, kids' daycare.
That's a really good question. I could make a really strong argument for a few of those, but I'm going to still say the dentist.
Ooh, I know you've talked about that before. I was going to say like maybe the gym or kids' daycare.
That would be fun. We could talk through each of those spaces, because those are kind of spaces that like a lot of people deal with.
Yeah, well, I think you should even get into gyms. We'll talk about that and where you are. But gyms are just nasty. But Mike, why don't you first of all introduce yourself for those that don't know, and tell my listeners who you are and what you do.
My name is Mike Feldstein. Thank you again for having me here, Bethany. So the Cole's Notes, and if you haven't heard our episode last year that we did, that was kind of like air quality 101. So if you weren't already, if right now you know nothing about air, but you care about your health and living, you're thinking about the food you eat, the water you drink, and breathing and doing all that stuff, but air is not even something you've thought about, you got to go back and listen to the first episode. Because that's where we really did a deep dive into all the things that you're breathing, the mold, the VOCs, the chemicals, your home. It was a big air quality 101. This time we're going to build on that. So, but This episode will be very applicable whether you heard the last one or not. So it's fine, but we'll build on that. My background, though, was wildfire restoration, hurricane cleanup, big toxic mold in homes and buildings, air quality consulting. So if you were sick at home and didn't know why, we would come in and do a deep dive on your home and see what's going on in there. And is your home making you sick? And the answer is often yes. So I was specialized in cleaning and testing environments, indoor spaces, and we would use these machines whenever we'd clean up a toxic situation. We'd be cleaning the surfaces, so the walls and the floors and the ceilings and the furniture, and scrubbing the air. It was a two-pronged approach. That's how you clean up anything dirty. It's just like whether it's a fishbowl or a swimming pool, you're cleaning that water. So the way we would clean up toxic situations was by cleaning the air. And with the we would use these machines called air scrubbers. They were amazing, like in the pickup trucks. They were very industrial in nature. So they would clean the air, scrub the air amazingly, but they were really loud and really ugly. And it was sad because we'd clean up a home after wildfire smoke, and then 2 weeks later, the smoke would blow back in, and we did that for nothing, or the mold would reemerge. So I realized that much like you don't just clean your water once or clean your pipes, you have to filter your water every day constantly. Air is very similar. So I set out on a journey to create the world's first air scrubber that is very industrial and commercial grade, but that looks pretty and is quiet. So now I realize that traveling all over the country cleaning up natural disasters, I couldn't really scale the impact. And then their homes were just getting recontaminated. So I'm on probably a 20-year journey right now to make the best air scrubbing machine, but also more than that, just educate people about the air quality that you're breathing at home, in your bedroom, at schools, in the world, and just increase air awareness. The same way 20, 30 years ago, no one even thought about filtering their water or buying organic food, and now it's like table stakes for a healthy journey. Air is my mission is to help raise your air awareness. So that's what we're here to do today.
Yeah, and I think air is something that people don't even think about. Thankfully, a lot of people are more in tune with clean water. If you put a lot of money and effort into water filters and what you eat, even what you put on your body, natural clothing, makeup, you have to think about you're breathing air all day long, all night long. And I think that can make a huge impact, and people don't realize that.
Well, you drink 2 or 3 liters of water a day. Like a gallon is a good water drinker. You eat a couple pounds of food per day, but you're breathing 17,000 liters of air per day. You're breathing way more microplastics and toxins and mold spores and chemicals. Like most of your toxin load comes in through your air. That's why they say 70% of the detox in your entire body happens in your lungs. So the mission is not to scare people, it's just to raise awareness. There's a few things you can buy, and we'll talk about that, but there's a lot of stuff that you can do. We went into all these free lifestyle solutions on the first episode as well, tips and tricks that you can implement right away. But once you're air aware, once you're water aware, you can taste the chlorine in the tap water. So you don't even need to test the water. You can taste the plastic in the bottle. It really comes back to trusting your senses and trusting your instincts. You know how you feel when you eat a really clean, healthy meal versus eating deep fried food. So you don't need to look at the statistics. And a lot of this comes back to people trusting your own body and your own instincts. Everybody's going down this path of outsourcing your step counter and your sleep tracker, and you're trusting third-party data to tell you how you feel. This doesn't make sense. And there's a reason that you can smell a poopy diaper, you can smell garbage, you can smell smoke. Our ability to smell was crafted through through a lot of evolution, because we need our nose, we need our sense of taste, and we can really trust that. And when you become more air aware, you start navigating the world a lot differently, whether it's in Ubers or malls or Airbnbs, air fresheners, scents, and all that kind of stuff. So let's get into it.
Yeah. Well, for those that don't know too, I am now an air snob.
You are.
I am for sure. And if people don't know, you actually came to my house in January of 2025 with all the fires happening in California.
Yep.
And you came to my house, you tested my air quality. I have 5 Jaspers. Thankfully, I got one for free when we partnered, and I loved it so much. I went out and bought several more, and I even am gifting a bunch for Christmas this year. Hopefully, no one's listening that is part of my family, because we're giving all our family members a Jasper. And it's so important to me. And once I got a Jasper, I am now an air snob. Like, for those listening, if you drink clean water, now you know how you can taste
Yeah.
the difference in water, and you're like, dang, I can't believe I was drinking that water. Or like those even more simple people that eat McDonald's every day don't know the difference of eating a clean food. They don't know how horrible they feel. And obviously people listening, they're into diet and nutrition. You can tell right away. So once you have this Jasper and you experience clean air, you become an air snob too. And Mike, I want to ask you, I heard that fragrance is the new secondhand smoke. What's that about?
Yeah, so specifically synthetic fragrances, because technically an essential oil could be a fragrance, but like when you see fragrances on your shampoo, your conditioner, soaps, I believe there's about 4,000 chemicals that hide under that fragrance umbrella. Fragrance, it's like I don't know how people got away with using natural flavors when there's nothing natural about it. So fragrance is another one of these sneaky words. Or air freshener. You're not freshening anything. You're just dumping chemicals in the air. And the amount of businesses that use scents, because historically speaking, scents were actually good for business. You go into the Abercrombie, or these stores would have particular scents and fragrances and hotels and lobbies where that smell would bring back certain emotions or feelings or memories. But this is not a good thing. This is not cool at all. So I've been going deep down this rabbit hole lately. Check this out. So when you have synthetic fragrances, what happens is it hijacks your olfactory system. So your ability to smell gets hijacked. So, you're an air snob now. So you probably smell somebody with like speed stick or um, cologne or perfume from a great distance, or spraying sunscreen from a huge distance away.
100. I go on walks in the morning, and people that walk by me, I can smell their shampoo. Like they just took a shower, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that shampoo.
So there's good news and bad news. And I'll start with just the situation at hand. And then there's really good news. It's very exciting. So the digestive enzymes in your gut, about 50% of them come from your sense of smell. So if you think about it, it makes sense. That's why if you smell something delicious, you start salivating, you get hungry. So what happens is you smell that food, the saliva gets produced, and then it tells your gut, yo, chicken's coming, steak's coming. It gives your gut a heads up of what foods are on the way. So it can start to prepare the right digestive enzymes and acids in your gut to deal with the food that's about to come in, so you can break them down, absorb nutrients, all that good stuff. Well, if you're smelling fragrances, your gut has no idea what's coming in, and your body doesn't even produce the saliva in your mouth. So here's a really fascinating one. You can try this at any restaurant or coffee shop or at home or anywhere you're at. Before you eat your meal, smell your foods closely. Take a deep breath through your nose and exhale. And if there's 3 or 4 things on your plate, breathe them all in one by one. That's to me, that's the ultimate grace. And I think that was probably a part of, be grateful for the food, but like take it a little deeper, really smell that food. You will notice, as you're smelling the food, instantly a big pool of saliva gets created in your mouth, because you're not able to smell it at a great distance when your olfactory system's all hijacked from these fragrances. So what happens is you're eating all this food and your gut has no idea what's incoming. So you can't absorb the nutrients. You can't break it down. No wonder. And I'm not saying this is the one and only issue, but it's a big issue for digestion, for gut health, for nutrition, and our soil's crap and our food's crap. So you're putting bad food in, then you have a bad gut. And when you can't smell it, your body can't prepare. Here's the good news. And here's why the air stop thing is actually like a real thing. It's not a joke. Your olfactory system, the neurons in your nose, they regenerate every 30 to 60 days. So that's why if you stop using synthetic fragrances and you start scrubbing the air in your bedroom specifically, but if once you do that, after 30 to 60 days, your olfactory health is back and you can smell again. and your saliva gets produced again, and your gut starts feeling better. So that's why the air stop thing is a thing, because after that 30 to 60 days, now your sense of smell is no longer hijacked, because when they use fragrances, you're not actually removing the source. You're not cleaning, you're not disinfecting. That is designed to block your ability to smell the truth.
They're covering it up,
You're covering
basically.
it up.
Yeah.
Febreze on the gym bag, it's still bacteria, guys, but you're covering it up. And now your body, normally, if you smell a dirty gym bag, you're like, I need to get away from this dirty gym bag. I need to clean it. I need to disinfect it. I need to put it out in the sun. If you can't smell it because all you smell is Febreze, you don't remove yourself. You don't put it outside. You don't put it in the sun. And then you're losing your ability to sense what's going on. So yeah, the connection basically to air health and gut health is a big one that no one's really examined until it's come into my awareness very recently.
Wow, Mike, I love that you bring that up. And I want to piggyback on that too, because I'm seeing, like you said, natural flavors is the equivalent to fragrance, right? And I'm seeing flavoring in legit meat, like ground meat. They're now putting flavoring in ground meat. And this is my theory, is that because the meat is semi-spoiled, so they're putting flavoring in so you can't actually taste the spoiled meat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's degraded, so it doesn't really have a good taste. So they're putting in this quote chicken flavor in chicken.
Oh,
And I'm like, why
no.
are you putting chicken flavor in chicken? It shouldn't, what does that have to do? So they're doing it to cover up the low quality meat, basically. And
And
other
there's no
things.
chicken in chicken flavor.
Exactly. Exactly.
There's no and like yeah, when you smell the air fresheners or the scents and the plugins and it's lemon flavor, there's no lemon in there. Like there's
Right.
so it's just pure chemicals hijacking your ability to smell. And if anyone's buying a home or renting a home for that matter, but especially buying a home because it's a lot of money, and you smell any air fresheners or you see any plugins on your home inspection, unplug all of them and demand another inspection a few days later. And if you saw them there when you were there for the showing that you're going to make an offer in, have your realtor go by and unplug all of them and get them out of the house, because it's the oldest trick in the book for moldy homes. They use air fresheners so you don't smell the mold. Then you move
Wow.
in and you have a moldy house, and those plugins got you.
Wow, that's a great tip, because a lot of people are buying homes and they have no idea it's a mold infested house. So that's a great tip. I also want to ask you, what's your opinion on, we all know that scented candles, right, is not good, but there are some candles that claim they're not scented and they actually can, quote, purify the air with this natural, whatever, like beeswax candles. What is your take on that?
I don't believe that they purify the air, but I do believe that there are much better candles. I've seen candles that are beeswax and have wooden wicks and stuff like that. A lot of the problem is the wick itself. And another part of the big problem is when you put out the candle and you get that black smoke, because it's kind of like a gas range or stove. When it's combusting, it's not as much of a problem. So candles are problematic, but the biggest problem was when you put out the candle and you get that black smoke. So either if you buy the candles where you like put the lid on it, or the candles where you like or exhaust the candle outside. Like I'll burn incense, but I'll burn it outside, or I'll burn incense or a candle if I have a Jasper in the home and I'm scrubbing it, because it won't remove all of the odors. You'll still get the ambiance and the benefits, but you'll be scrubbing out the harmful particulates and the chemicals and the odors. So I'm not I haven't gone totally deep down the I actually should, and I will figure out what's the best candles.
Well, there's some that claim that there's like, quote, negative ions that the candle produces that actually purifies the air, like with the negative ions. And I don't know if it's like woo woo or not, but
For me, I'm like kind of a natural, fundamental, basic guy. I like to get my. Do I think red lights and stuff like that have a place? Absolutely, especially in the winter, especially in the north. But like, I like to do my grounding outside. I like to get my vitamin D from the sun and my different. And I like the sun has the negative ions and the UV light. So whenever something is trying to pretend to be like mimic the sun or the wind, like I want my negative ions from like the wind. I like the way nature does it. I like opening windows. When we're trying to artificially do nature, typically that hasn't been a good experience for me.
okay. All right. I want to talk about, speaking of homes, a lot of people are getting pregnant, they have babies, nurseries, or they're putting their child in daycare, which I asked you about daycare. So
Yeah.
why is it so important to have clean air in a baby's room?
I think I told this story last time on the pod, but yeah, babies' nurseries are some of the worst air. Well, and I like the question you asked earlier, so we'll make sure we touch on those few. Those are really cool. Babies' nurseries in particular. By the way, if anyone's located in Austin, Texas, we have a program where if you're having a baby, we'll deliver a Jasper to your birthing suite free of charge. If you're having a home birth, we'll deliver it to your home birth, and then you get to keep that Jasper for your baby's nursery for free.
But only in Austin, Texas.
It's the only place we just can't do it shipping wise. We come and we set it up and we make sure it's all done right. It's the only place feasibly that we can offer it because that's where we're located right now. But so like when my youngest baby, he's 5 months, and when we set up the Jasper in his birthing suite, the air was horrible in there. So think about this: your little baby, you're coming to the earth in like a synthetic hospital sterile environment with harsh cleaning products. I like to say baby's first breath is more important than baby's first steps. So it starts I believe at that birth. Also, during birth, mom is breathing quite a lot. So I believe that mom breathing cleaner air. I don't The last thing mom needs is to be breathing in a bunch of chemicals while in labor. Not cool. And I believe it's the adult's job, it's parents' job to make their kids' environment, to give their kids a healthy environment. And a lot of people aren't doing it either because they're not aware, because they don't care. So Jasper has decided one of our values is if the parents aren't going to give their babies clean air, we're going to do it for them. So any babies in Austin, we'd love to extend the program. I'm sure over time, over the following years, we'll be able to grow it over time. But for now in Austin, if you're having a baby or you know someone who is, please hit us up. We'll coordinate a Jasper delivered to the birthing suite and then make sure it's set up properly in your baby's nursery. So babies nurseries. If you got a baby on the way, everybody gets a new crib and a new dresser, and they paint and they get it all ready for Instagram. And the problem is that paint has a bunch of VOCs. That crib has a bunch of off gassing. That new car smell is not a good thing. You're opening all the stuff. So if you have the time, some people don't because of like they're superstitious and all that, and I get that. But what I would recommend for babies nurseries is number one, if you paint as early as possible and leave those windows open as much as possible so that room can breathe and off gas. I'm not usually a big fan of like secondhand furniture. Like I wouldn't get a secondhand mattress or a secondhand couch. I would definitely buy a crib secondhand, especially it's sealed wood. You're not worried about anyone's old gross stuff or nightside tables or dressers because that way the furniture is already off gassed in someone else's home. So by the time you're getting the furniture, the off gassing is done. So, but if you're getting new, get it 3, 4, 5 months before if you can. Leave it in the garage or put it in that bedroom and let those windows be open, or put a Jasper in there if you want. But basically, address the off gassing period. Paint as early as you can. And then another thing is the diaper pail is another big problem as well. Do not put a diaper pail in your baby's room. There's a reason that it smells like shit. It's because it is shit. And if you're smelling poo with your nose, the amount of airborne bacteria is off the charts. And that's why you're able to smell it. So this little baby comes into the world born in a sterile, chemical-filled hospital. Then they're coming home and they're breathing VOCs and moldy toys and their own poop. It's not cool. So for anyone out there, here's my challenge for you. If you have a diaper pail in your baby's bedroom, put it in your bedroom tonight and see how you feel. See what it feels like to sleep in a shitbox room. And then if it's a nice experience, okay, fine, put it back. It won't be. So what can you do? Number one, take those diapers outside right away. Number two, if you are going to use a pail, you can put it in the bathroom nearby, keep the fan on all the time, and then take it out once per day. There's actually a pail, it's like $79 on Amazon that we actually have it now. We empty it daily because it's small, but it works like a trash chute. So like most of them, like the diaper genie and stuff, it's just an open pit. So there's no air filtration. It's not sealed at all. So there is I'll get you the link. We'll pop it in the show notes. It's like a $79 one on Amazon. It's like it's a no name. It works great, but empty it every day. And then yeah, so with the nursery, between the poop and the chemicals, it's not a great place. Baby spends a lot of time in that room. And I think that's an area, and that's why we literally give them away for free in the area. Babies are, if an adult is breathing 10 to 20,000 times a day, a toddler could breathe 60,000 times a day. An infant could breathe as much as 100,000 times a day. So low immune system, high respiratory rate, and dirty air, not cool.
Yeah, and their lungs are so small. They're so tiny.
Yeah. So this is like a big thing for us. At the end of the day, like the bigger emission here is we breathe a lot, air makes us sick, and there's a lot of chemicals and stuff in our indoor environment. So just pay attention, guys.
Yeah, no, and that's a great tip about the diaper pails. And I would say too, I realize and understand those diaper pails exist because it's a busy mom. You can't go outside to the trash can
Yeah,
20
exactly.
times a day, but maybe you could put a diaper pail like right outside your back door. So you're not necessarily going out, but you're just opening the door and putting it there,
And then you take it outside once a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's all.
brilliant.
Reasonable.
Okay, so we've got the baby situation. I asked you about the nurseries. Now, I want to talk about gyms, but I also want to talk about hotels. My husband and I just recently went somewhere and we stayed in this hotel, and it was like I was walking into like a perfume, like it was the worst hotel ever. Okay, this was in, I can't remember, like Arkansas or something, and I couldn't breathe in there. It was the worst experience. And we actually left early. Like we changed our flights and we could not stay there.
Hotel air is very bad. There's two hotels. The proper hotel in Santa Monica has wellness suites that have Jaspers in them. And the Carillon Hotel in Miami, we gifted 180 Jaspers to that hotel. So we put one in every single room, all 25 or 28 massage and treatment rooms, and we gifted about 30 to the staff because we wanted to see what could we do, because they have these beds that track people's sleep. So we wanted to make them the first clean air hotel in America. And so far it's working really great. So Miami is very moldy. But if you go to Miami, I would highly recommend staying at the Carillon Hotel because every single room has Jaspers in them. But yeah, hotels have a couple problems going for them. Number one, especially the coastal places and with high humidity, because they are, what's the saying? Penny wise, pound foolish. So the amount of hotels in Miami, for example, and I'm just picking on Miami, but it applies to a lot of places. They like have to knock down the hotel and like remodel the whole thing because they all get moldy HVAC systems and moldy rooms. Because like like you stay at a resort or a hotel and they make you put the room key in to have power, and like you leave the room and then the power shuts off. So what happens is when you check out of the room, they turn the fan off. So that room is just sitting stagnant, which is like a petri dish. That's how you get mold. They should leave the HVAC system running all the time. So, maybe they're saving a few dollars a day in energy per room, but then they're having millions of dollars in a moldy remediation project and knocking the hotel down, and it's horrible. So plus, they use really harsh cleaning products. So, what's the problem with hotels? You have windows that don't open, you have poor HVAC systems, and then harsh chemicals. And a lot of Airbnbs are not any better because they smash those air fresheners and plugins everywhere. So, when I go to hotels and I bring my particle counter and I test the air, the chemical counts are crazy. The particulate counts are crazy. The good news is I always bring my Jasper and I do a little video. In about 20 minutes, we get the air like 20 or 30 times cleaner. Um, I usually ship my Jasper in advance. Sometimes I fly with it. A lot of airlines will let you fly with it for free because it's considered a medical device. Sometimes a couple of them don't. I have to remember either United or American wouldn't let me. They're like, no, like, sorry, golf clubs are fine, but air scrubber not. So that was annoying. But yeah, so sometimes I fly with it. And then what I do is I send a video to the general manager being like, look how bad your air is. And then look how much better it was 20 minutes later. Like, come into our room. There was this one hotel called the Biltmore in Miami. They had such a moldy room, like just a VOCs. It was an unusable room. They had to take it offline. And I met with their head of housekeeping and one of their management. And we did a test. We put a Jasper there for 20 minutes. And first of all, that room is operational. But when you walked into the room from the hallway, you were like, ugh, like unbreathable. We turned on the Jasper, we ran it for 20 minutes. And then when we went back in the hallway was, ugh. We got the room so much cleaner than the hallway that the hallway felt close compared to the room. So hotels are tricky, right? Like everyone's like, can you make a smaller one, travel size one? No, we can't because a smaller one would be a crappy one. Jasper is the smallest it can be. It's like, can you make a pickup truck the size of a sedan? No. Or an SUV the size of a golf cart? Sometimes you need a certain amount of size to get the job done. Um, so yeah, it's bad. There's not much you can do about it. I'm on a very big mission to raise hotel air awareness as much as possible and get more Jaspers into hotels and hopefully have hotels that have windows that open. James Nestor, who wrote the book Breathe, he's working on a really big initiative where they're going to have hundreds of people monitoring the CO2 all across the country. We're basically going to try to create a TripAdvisor for hotel air so people can know which hotels are moldy and which ones have fragrances. So when you're staying in a town, going to a new city, you can find some clean air hotels.
I
So
remember you were doing
we're
that
working
last
on
time we
it.
spoke. Like it would gonna be on like on your website or something. That's like a list of hotels that
It's
have
slow.
clean air. Slow.
It's like we don't have enough data for it to be meaningful yet, but we're working on creating our clean air Avengers, and we'll make it happen. But it's taking time.
All right. Is there something similar for Airbnbs? Like, can you go on Airbnb and like say, I want clean or like non-toxic Airbnbs, or does
Well,
that not exist yet?
Well, I know Joe Gebbia lives in Austin, so and I know he's a health freak. So let me try to get Jaspers into his life. If we can turn Joe Gebbia into an air snob, maybe we can get a scent free button on Airbnb. So I'll add that to the list.
For sure. Yeah. And I think that should also apply to like Ubers, right? Like they
Yes.
should like have the option to be like, this is a scent free, no Christmas tree Uber.
When I get into the Uber now, I immediately ask them to remove all the Christmas trees. At first, it was like a bit of a back and forth. It was kind of annoying. Now I just tell them I'm allergic because it's
Yeah.
true.
Well,
What is allergy?
you know what will really get them? If you just go in there and just be like, hey, you know that this Christmas tree is ruining your testosterone, they'll take it out themselves. They're like, oh. You
So
just give
yeah,
it to them hard.
I was trying the health angle, and it was really. I tried a bunch of angles. It was really not working as good as I was hoping. Um, so yeah, it's tough. We'll figure it out.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
so you asked about that's nurseries, that's hotels, or the other two spaces you were asking about.
I was asking about doctors, dentist office, and veterinary office
Oh, and gyms.
and
Okay,
gyms. Yeah, like
I'll
all
do
the.
these. I'll do the gym one rapid fire. Um, Gyms vary massively. Ultimately, the less volume, typically the worse. So if you're in like a gym that has really high ceilings or like big garage doors that open and there's more fresh air in there, it's going to be great. But if you're going a lot of gyms have too much carbon dioxide. So it's not an air filtration issue, it's a fresh air issue because you have everybody breathing. Whether it's lifting weights or running, the respiratory rates are very high. So we're breathing a lot of carbon dioxide out, especially if it's hot or cool. The building is quite sealed to be energy efficient. So gyms generally aren't great. We often put Jaspers into like the locker rooms and the change rooms and stuff like that. But with gyms, the carbon dioxide is the big issue, and then the cleaning chemicals that they're using. So gyms don't have a great air situation. I'm not the most concerned about it though, for the reason that you're like the gym is literally like a place where you go to stress your body for an hour. So like you're lifting heavy things, you're running. If you're breathing some high CO2 air, it's almost like people who do like altitude training. I'm more worried about the environment where you're sleeping, where you're eating, where you're living. This place where you're going to stress your body for an hour, I'm less concerned about it because I don't think it's like a virus issue. But I mean, if you can go for a run or a walk inside versus outside, I would prefer to be outside every time.
Okay. All right. So what's going on with dentists? Because you said that's the dirtiest.
It's the worst. So I can't remember if it was I think the Department of Labor. And by the way, for anyone who doesn't know this, when Jasper launched in 2020, Jaspers were $2,000 back then. And Jasper was called Jasper Medical. And we only sold to dentists during COVID. Our first 1,000 customers were all dentists. They teach dentists in dental school. There's something called bioaerosols. So I will not go to a dentist that does not actually. Recently at Jasper, we the dentist comes here now. It's not that expensive. So
Wait,
if
they
anyone
come to
out
your
there,
home?
They come to the office, yeah.
So you have a dentist that comes to you?
Yes, they
What the
come.
heck?
They bring their own power, they bring their own water every couple years. If they need X-rays, they could even bring that. Um, if you have at least 8 employees, even 6, it becomes very financially viable. They come, they bring the dental chair. They can actually do their dental cleanings right here on the dock.
That's
Um,
insane.
yeah, because I don't like going to the dentist. It's horrible. So they have what is a bioaerosol? And if you look when they if you test the air in a dental office, it's off the charts bad. What are we testing in the air? Saliva, tooth particulate, blood, bacteria, viruses off the charts. Now, when we put Jaspers into the rooms, it's not an issue anymore. It's an issue when they're not doing something about it. Also, the dentist and the hygienist are wearing a mask. The patient's mouth is wide open. Even when we test the air in the lobby, it's off the charts. So the Department of Labor ranks dentists and dental hygienists as 2 of the most dangerous jobs in America, more than police, firefighter, miner, like all these jobs that you think are really dangerous doesn't even compare because their adults are 3 or 5 times more likely than the general population to develop adult onset asthma, um, because they're breathing in all this stuff all day, every day. Think about what dentist is. You know, they're blasting air and water into your gums. The dirtiest place on your body is your butt. The second dirtiest is your mouth, specifically under your gum line. So they're blasting and aerosolizing all the stuff in your mouth. So you're breathing in all. So someone has a sick kid, they bring it home. They may not be symptomatic. Then you're breathing it all in. So dental offices are horrible. I would not go to a dentist unless they have sufficient air scrubbing in there. Also, you know how your Jasper works, right? So for anyone who's never seen a Jasper before, if it's in your if you keep one in your main room on smart mode, it detects the air quality in real time. It goes from green to yellow to red. In a dental office, it's red all day long. As soon as the patient starts, the Jasper is red. The reason our warranty system and our service is so good at Jasper is because during COVID, we'd get calls from the dentist panicking, saying the Jasper is not working and our hygienists are refusing to work. So we used to only be in dental. And then what happened was the hygienist and the dentist would rave about the Jasper to their patients. And then the patient would be like, hey, my kid has asthma. My kid has allergies. Does Jasper sell these for the home? They're like, I don't know. Call Jasper. Back then, we had no e-commerce. The only way you could buy a Jasper for the first 2 years was to call me. And on our website, it was like request a free consultation. Because my background was like blue collar services. I was like the mold man. So you'd call me for an hour. We'd talk about your mold situation. I'd tell you how many you'd need. I'd send you an invoice. If I was living in Toronto at the time, I would deliver the Jasper. So yeah, dental offices are bad, and they're bad with really bad stuff. So unlike the gym, the stuff in the dental office could make you like actually very sick. It could make you get an infection. So bad
Yeah.
news.
Well, and dentists too, there's not separate rooms. Very rarely. It's just like one chair after another chair and everyone's in the same room, right? You're not like confined. So I think that's actually worse because you're just kind of spreading that stuff around. um, Now, I saw an email from you and I saved it. This was actually a while ago, but you did a test and it was mold. And within 120 minutes, the mold was like literally gone from like this petri dish. And I think that was amazing because the petri dish, obviously it had mold in it. You put the Jasper in and the mold was like literally gone after 120 minutes, which was insane. And so I just wanted to bring that to light because I know a lot of people are dealing with mold or even suspect. They may not know for sure, but they're like, I'm pretty sure I have mold. That's amazing that a Jasper can get rid of that. Can you elaborate?
The test that we do, we use a really good lab. And by the way, most air purifiers, their lab testing is really not cool at all. What they do when they make these claims about 99% filtration and stuff, they take the filter out of the air purifier, they put it into a controlled box in a lab, and then they put particles through it at a very low airflow rate. And then they're like, look, we're HEPA. We filter 99.97%. I don't like this type of test at all. It's like testing the acceleration in your car if you were like lifted off the ground or going down a hill. It's like so not a real world example. So that email you got, the way that mold study works, the lab literally fills a room with millions of mold spores, and then they turn the Jasper on, and then they test the air like every 30 minutes. So I like that because that's a real world study. So when you see a lot of like the UV, if you see a lot of these like UV ionizer type purifiers, they make all these cool fancy stats and claims and talk about their technology. And I'm like, okay, cool. Good thing this is objective. Fill a room with dust and mold, test the air, turn it on, test it again. I'm like, they'll never do those types of studies because none of them work. So another good type of study, like a true, like I want the undeniable stuff. So if someone's been using an Aura Ring or a Whoop for months or years, put a Jasper in their bedroom and their sleep score goes way up, their deep sleep goes up, their REM goes up, their sleep time goes up. This is the real stuff. When we go into a room, we test the air, we turn on the Jasper, we test it again. Air is 20 times cleaner. None of this like putting a filter in an isolated lab environment. I don't believe in that type of study at all. So with the mold study you saw, yeah, in 1 hour, we removed 98.1% of mold spores. Within 2 hours, 100%. Now it's funny, like it sounds impressive to some. To me, it just sounds obvious. I'm like, that's how we did mold remediation. We would use an air scrubber, we would isolate the room, we would wipe the surfaces, and we would scrub the air. So it's like, with your water filter, it's also filtering like over 99% of bacteria instantly. So it sounds impressive, but to me, as like a mold filtration guy, I'm like, that's how filters work. And Jasper, what makes it an air scrubber versus an air purifier is air purifiers are kind of designed to make your air incrementally cleaner, 10% cleaner, 20% cleaner. That's why they say like covers 1,500 square feet, covers 1,000 square feet. First of all, they didn't even tell you if that was 8-foot ceilings or 20-foot ceilings. It's not about square footage, it's about cubic volume. And they don't tell you how much cleaner is all of the air. So purifiers are like air fresheners. They're making the air like a little bit cleaner. It's like a space heater. It's going to make the air a little bit warmer in a small space. An air scrubber is designed to scrub the air and make sure you're breathing nothing but pure air as nature intended it. So
Okay.
that is a big difference between a purifier and a scrubber.
So Jasper is a scrubber.
The scrubber.
It's a scrubber. All right. So what is going on in schools today? Because I would argue that a lot of schools have mold and kids are in there for most of their day, 5 days a week, indoors, breathing this.
Schools are bad. Literally, if you asked me to design a building to increase the rate of infection as much as possible, it would be very similar to the way schools are built now. They've almost done a perfect job at making a sick building syndrome environment. So what does that entail? If you want to have sick kids, here's what we do. Let's make a really tightly sealed box. Let's put a ton of kids in a classroom where they're sitting in uncomfortable chairs all day. Let's use artificial lighting. Let's make windows that don't open. Let's not clean our HVAC systems very often. Let's use really harsh chemicals and cleaning products in the after hours. Let's feed them really low quality food for lunch. And let's underpay teachers so that nobody really wants the job. Bravo, you've made a really sick building. You did a great job. Oh, and let's put air fresheners in every class too, so it'll be so fresh. It's really sad. So my daughter Aria, she's 5 now. When she was 2.5, she went to school for the first time, and she was coming home sick all the time, completely congested and sick, and a cough. And then my wife Rachel would get sick too. And then then I would sleep in the other room to not get sick. It sucked. Like the cost of a sick child. She wouldn't be in school. We wouldn't be. Then we're not working, and you're not traveling.
Impacts your whole family, yeah.
And it spreads. It sucks. And I was picking her up all the time from school, and I'm like, so they nailed it. Sealed windows, air fresheners, bad. Like you guys made a really bad environment. We put her in another school down the street. Also, I will say this: the doctor and reading online, they're like, it's normal. Your child's supposed to constantly have infections for the first several years, so they get every infection known to man, and then they'll be okay. I didn't believe it. I was like, my fatherly / Mold man, air quality instincts. Don't believe
It's
this.
not adding up. Yeah.
Also, she wasn't in bubble wrap for the first 2.5 years of her life. We were traveling, we were on planes. This was even during COVID. We were traveling, staying in hotels, just living our life. And she wasn't getting sick at all. And then all of a sudden at school, she's sick all the time. And I'm looking at it as like a restoration guy, being like, this is the sickest environment ever. The carpets, if you did a disturbed air test, like, I have my particle counter, the air is off the charts. This is a sick building with sick kids in it and dirty, and then like 2.5-year-olds. So they had a room with 3 toilets and a vent that didn't even work and windows that didn't open and diaper pails and stuff. I'm like, just, oh yeah, add that to the mix. So we switched her schools and I put Jasper's into the new school. She stopped getting sick. And there was a study out of Finland where they put air purifiers, not even scrubbers, in like half the schools, half the classrooms, and absenteeism dropped by like 30% in teachers and students. Duh. It's like if you started washing your hands and you had never washed your hands before, you're cleaning the bacteria off your hands. You're going to get sick way less just by having good hand hygiene. Well, the same thing happens if you have good air hygiene.
Did the academics go up too? Did they like start performing better?
I mean, she was only 2.5 or 3. So I don't know. I can't
But
make
like
that claim.
in the studies though, do you know like the Finland study?
They were pretty young kids. But I mean, if they're not missing 30% of school and they're not feeling tired and their energy levels higher. But I will say there's a huge amount of studies how air quality impacts cognition. Absentee rates in offices, energy, focus, SAT scores go up when they have chess masters playing. The quality of their move goes up.
Well, for sure you don't have brain fog.
Brain fog is completely tied to your air quality. That's why you're like, I just need to go outside and get a breath of fresh air. And then all of a sudden you feel much more clear. So, what are we doing about this school air thing? Because I think this is one of the biggest problems that there is. So, we bought a school here in Austin, and my kids go to the school now, but we're just the landlords for now. Our school opens up next August. It's called Kindling Academy. If anybody wants to check it out, we got an Instagram, and the website is kindling.academy. And our goal is to make the healthiest school with the healthiest kids in America. So how are we going to do that? Well, first of all, there's going to be 2 Jaspers in every classroom. There will be whole building water filtration. So the drinking water, the hand washing water, all of it will be filtered water. We're going to have we're testing different lighting systems, but we're going to have circadian rhythm lighting. So the lighting, not only does it change throughout the day, but it also mimics the sun that day. So if it's a cloudy day versus a sunny day, the indoor lighting, and it's going to be very diffused lighting, is going to mimic the outdoor lighting and the sun as much as possible. So it's not a harsh contrast between indoor and outdoor. We're building screened in porches the entire perimeter of the school. So the kids are going to be default outside. Like outside. If it's windy or cold or hot or buggy, they'll be in the screened in porch and then sometimes inside. We also got an organic, like a chef who sources all the food, hyper local. So we'll be teaching the kids how to cook, teach them about nutrition, and then feeding them super healthy lunches every day. And then just for fun, we got a 20-person sauna and a cold plunge. So when the parents do pick up and drop off, they can actually like decompress and relax and get to know each other, because community, I think the most important health thing by far is community. And we're really viewing the school as a community school. We're not just accepting the kid, it's all about accepting the whole family. And we're going to be working with a couple doctors and scientists to track our absentee rates. So the reason we call it Kindling Academy is because we want to start the fire. We want to create a movement. We're doing this as a not-for-profit. So we're putting the financials online. We're going to put the absentee rates online. So even if you don't live in Austin, if you do live in Austin, go to kindling.academy and apply now.
What's the age range?
It's the first year is 3 to 9. And then over the next couple of years, there'll be 12. Then we'll scale it all the way up to high school. We're going to get some adjacent properties and scale it all the way up. My kids are 5, 3, and 5 months. So we have to stay a few years ahead of our kids. And we're going to pay the teachers really well. Teachers are making like 30, 40 grand a year. You do not want your teachers starving. It is a travesty. So we're going to pay the teachers well. And last but not least, the reason that we're really excited is because we're going to trap the absentee rates. Public schools are currently funded based on attendance. So that's why there's these things called truancy laws. Like if your kid misses more than 2 weeks of school, you start to have to go to these like hearings and you get in trouble. It's whack. But that's how they're funded. So I get it, I guess. I don't like the incentives though. And what we're going to do is because we're going to track the absentee rates. Imagine, which my goal is, I think we can get absentee rates down by at least 50%. So if we get the absentee rates down by 50%, all of a sudden it's going to be profitable and lucrative for the public schools to invest in creating healthy environments. Because, yeah, they'll pay a little bit more on energy and air filtration, water filtration, lighting, but the attendance is going to be high, so the revenue is going to be high. So I love when you can make incentives line up for everybody. So that's the vision.
I want to take my kid there. I don't even have kids, but I want to take my kid and move to Austin and go there. And I would even argue, I bet the kids actually want to go versus dreading going to school.
And it's going to be a fragrance free school. They'll have these nice little slippers to pop in when they go in and out. And we're going to make sure, I don't think we're going to have school uniforms, but we may have some different cool swag that will be like organic cotton and no synthetic fibers and things like that.
Oh yeah. Okay. So what if a kid comes and they have like perfume? Are they like X'd out, like they can't come that day?
I don't know. It's my wife is it's up to Rachel and her team. I'm staying out of it. We're not super intense people, but ultimately I think it would be a conversation that needs to be had because that's why I call synthetic fragrances the new secondhand smoke. Because secondhand smoke to me was the greatest marketing campaign of all time in a good way. It was a movement maker because until secondhand smoke came out, if you would like if you go back like 60, 50, even probably 40 years ago, maybe a little more. But if you would complain and tell someone to stop smoking indoors, you were the Karen, you were the bitch, you were the asshole because it was like your preference telling them what to do. Then when we realized, oh shit, secondhand smoke is killing you just as much as them, all of a sudden your smoke is my problem. So that was enough to galvanize people and get people on a mission to want smoke-free zones and push for it. And anger is a beautiful human emotion that I think I respect anger tremendously. You want to be calm with the anger, but anger is what incites the human's desire to create action. So I like to call synthetic fragrances the new secondhand smoke because by me coming into your space, whether it's the Bath and Body Works, the lotions, the fragrances, the hotels, you're making everybody else sick. It's not just you anymore. So I want to raise awareness because I think we should stop going to businesses and hotels that are doing this stuff. Yeah.
Well, and I think raising awareness is key, just like back in the day when everyone was drinking out of plastic bottles and now the awareness came about BPAs and plastics and all this. Now everyone is at least aware and they can consciously make that choice if they want to drink out of it versus just like nobody knowing about it. So I think awareness is definitely key. But I want to go back to something you said in the school that you are creating is they have slippers and they take the shoes on and off. And that's something that I see even in just homes today where it's crazy that America, I think, is the dirtiest place where people are bringing in their outdoor shoes indoor where their kids are crawling on the floor and you're having this living space when most other countries naturally take their shoes off.
It's wild. I moved from Canada like 3.5 years ago. People just come into our home here in Texas. They'll roll them with their dirty boots and just walk across the carpet. So we have massive like I tell them take off their shoes immediately, and then I give them my 2-minute shoe rant, which I'll give to you guys right now. So 95% of shoes have fecal matter on them. I guarantee you, it's at least as high for glyphosate. And then you're tracking that through your home, on your carpets, for your babies, for your pets. It is one of the easiest ways to pollute your home. Same thing with packages on the kitchen counter. Amazon packages, very, very dirty. Do the depackaging at the front door and get that box outside. Your backpack. This is one I only became aware of a few months ago. I just wasn't paying attention. But when I was coming home and taking my bag and just tossing it on the couch, my bag has been on trains, buses, planes, boats, floors, coffee shops. So my bag is fine. I'll wear it, but like, don't put it on the couch. Don't put it on your bed. Keep it on hard surfaces that are not porous. But yeah, shoes are gross inside.
Okay. I love that you're talking about this because everyone thinks I'm OCD. When I first met my husband, we were dating and we would just like come and he'd bring like we go grocery shopping and he put the grocery bags on my kitchen counter. I'm like, no, don't do that. Like he's obviously aware of my pet peeves now and he's amazing. But I was like, we don't put grocery bags on the kitchen counter. People come in putting purses on the kitchen counter or like anything. I'm like, don't like I have a purse thing and it goes underneath the table and you can like hang your purse there. And I think a lot of these things we don't really realize. And again, to your point, the shoes, where have those shoes been? They've been in gas stations, public restrooms, the grocery store. I mean, I'm not really concerned about dirt, right? Like dirt is dirt. I'm not like it's dirty, right? I'm concerned about the bacteria and all that other stuff you just mentioned.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so if someone thinks it's okay to have the shoe on the floor, it's just like, so here's the thing. If we do a carpet sample or a floor sample, every time you walk along the floor, everything that's on the floor becomes aerosolized for everyone to breathe, for everyone to touch, for the kids to play. And like, we have kids, they play on the floor, they put their fingers in their mouth and they should be able to. And it's like, if you think it's okay to put your shoes through the house, I challenge you to lick the bottom of your shoe right now. And if you're not going to lick the bottom of your shoe, then get out of my house. Like, you want my family and my kids to eat this and breathe this. So it's just, but you know what? I'm not mad about any of this. It's actually very exciting because what an opportunity. It's just an awareness thing. Nobody wants to track bacteria in their home and get sick. They just haven't realized. Like when you see someone with that sunscreen, it's an awareness thing. And honestly, like I'm pretty optimistic because I've converted a lot of people to better. Like I just ordered 30 deodorants from Primally Pure. I don't know if you know that brand. Um, so I keep a bunch of them on me. First of all, I give them to my whole team, and then wherever I go, I keep them on me. So when I smell someone, instead of just complaining, I give them a Primally Pure. And
Aw.
I'm because you can't truly become an air snob. You have to clean your air and scrub it, but you also have to stop putting synthetic chemicals on your body all the time. Um, you know what's actually really nice? Have you ever seen the brand Lotus Way?
No, what do they do?
It's flower. It's like flower power. It's essential flower oils and stuff. This girl, Kate or Katie, she like travels all over the world and they make these beautiful flower blends and they're amazing smells. Like using flower essence more than just oils is flower essence is an incredible way to add an amazing light fragrance to a situation with none of the harmful factors.
Is it like potpourri, like natural potpourri or no?
It's less intense than that and it feels amazing.
Wow, interesting. Yeah. Well, and I want to ask you also about rugs.
Sure.
We have no carpet in our home. We got rid of everything. My husband installed some flooring and we now have no carpet. Not even the front door has a carpet. Like when you visited my house, we did have that one like entryway carpet, but I was like, I just want to get rid of this. So there's no carpet and people think it's really weird. What is your take on having rugs in the home?
It's a love-hate situation. I like rugs more than built-in carpets, if you have to choose. Here's why it's a love-hate thing. Rugs aren't the problem. It's the maintenance of the rug that's the problem. Because the rug is actually the biggest air filter in your entire home. The rug doesn't okay. Let me say some rugs actually have a lot of chemicals themselves. Like so does furniture and stuff. So some rugs do pollute the air themselves and they do off gas, but a lot of rugs don't. You can get an organic like wool rugs and stuff like that. The issue is it's this giant filter. So if you don't have the rug, it's still like your situation's awesome because like you're scrubbing your air intensely. Like you have a bunch of Jaspers, so even if they're running really quietly, you're filtering your air. But if you weren't scrubbing your air, if your carpet's not picking it up, something is. It's going to go on your couch. It's going to go on your clothes. It's going to go on your bedding. Something else will absorb it. So if people have like small rugs, but they have like when I typically shake out a rug, we're getting like 80% of the particulate out of the rug. So if someone has rugs and they're using like a HEPA vacuum or they're shaking it out occasionally, it can actually be it's a maintenance thing. So it can be a headache to maintain, but it's just rugs by themselves. They're actually air filters. It's just they're the filter that nobody ever cleans or changes. It'd be like if you didn't change your Jasper filter for years, it's not going to be your friend anymore either. So rugs are these big passive filters so if you have a rug or rugs, they should be shaked out fairly often and HEPA vacuumed. If you're doing that, great. If you're not, from like a maintenance free standpoint, the easiest thing is to scrub your air and not have rugs. But also, when you actually look at a rug, 50% of the particulate on your rug comes from food, pets, skin, hair, etc. The other 50% of the things that comes on your rug comes from your air. So think about dust. You should not really have much dust in your home. I bet you don't really have dust.
We don't. We have people that come and clean and they're like, "Where's the dust?" I'm like, "No, it's okay."
You should not have dust. Dust is not normal. So, if you have like a bed, let's say you have like what's the thing beside the bed? Nightstand?
Nightstand.
It's like, let's say those get dusty, coffee tables get dusty, media units get dusty. I'll give you a multiple choice. I'll give you a B. Where do you think the dust comes from? A, emerges from the coffee table, or B, from the air and lands on the coffee table?
From the air.
Yeah. So dust does not emerge out of the surface. The dust is a symptom of poor indoor air quality. I'm outside right now. There's no dust on the floor, on the table, on anything. There's sun, wind, rain, trees, nature's air purifier, God's air filter, whatever you want to call it. It works great. There's no dust out here. Dust is a symptom. Just like, you don't get the mold in the Tupperware until you put the bread in and you seal it up. Your home is an airtight, sealed container, more or less. It's very sealed. So if you're not scrubbing your air and your home is not breathing, you get dust. And dust is not one thing. Dust is a mixture of many things. And then you have dust mites, which is what people are very allergic to. But your dust is your hair cells, your skin cells, mold, bacteria, pollen, insect fragments, all kinds of stuff. So if you're filtering your air, you will not have dust in your home.
Oh, that's a great point. So for anyone that's like, man, my house is always dusty, maybe you just need an air filter or an air scrubber.
You have dirty air.
Yeah.
You have dirty air.
An air scrubber, which I just said filter. Can you, again, just give us some verses. So Jasper versus a traditional air purifier, the design and the warranty. Why is yours different?
Yeah, different is the right word. There's kind of a few categories here. The most effective machine is a traditional air scrubber. These are what I use on mold jobs. They're super effective, but they're so loud and they're large and they're ugly, like so unpractical. It's like the safest car you could buy would be like a dump truck or something, but like not exactly practical for everyday life. Great for safety, horrible for everything else. The SUV only came into the American market in the 1990s. They're new. And now over 50% of cars sold in America are SUVs. Because what happened is they took military vehicles and they made them for the family. So it's kind of the same thing that we did with Jasper. We took a commercial industrial grade scrubber and we made it good for the family and for the home. So you have traditional air purifiers, $99, $199, Amazon, Home Depot, Walmart, Best Buy, etc. Teeny little things. Those just don't work. They're just kind of scams. I mean, they would work in like a dorm room on full speed all the time. Also, whenever you see those claims about the square footage, that's assuming low ceilings and full speed all the time.
Okay.
Sneaky.
Good point.
So Jasper is typically it's about the effectiveness of about 5 small air purifiers. So one Jasper, think about that as about 5 air purifiers. You're not going to put 5 little air purifiers in your room with their little bright flashy lights. So it's made from steel. Jasper is designed to last 10, 20 years or more. It's very industrial grade, but beautiful. So it's made from steel, not from plastic. It monitors the air quality in real time, and you see the air on the screen in real time. So you're not guessing. Like you can see when you cook, it goes from a 4 to a 90, and then half an hour later, it's back to a 5, and you're like, cool, I felt that, I smelt that, I see that. My air sensors internally in my body are calibrating. That's important. A purifier doesn't typically do that. Then our lifetime warranty is pretty badass. So let's say your Jasper breaks, it's been 6 months or 4 years, it doesn't matter. We ship you a brand new Jasper. You take the new Jasper out of the box. You put the old Jasper back in the box. We also give you a prepaid shipping label, and we send UPS to come pick it up off your front porch or from your apartment or your condo. So we cover everything. You don't pay $1. You don't go to FedEx. If your Jasper breaks, that's our fault. That's our problem and not your fault or problem. I hate when I buy a product with a warranty and it has an issue. They want me to sit on live chat support. I'm on the phone for hours. They want me to take pictures, send videos, pay $100, drive to FedEx, get a weird shaped box, waste half a day. Screw that. That's not good support. So service excellence is probably our best differentiator. We run ourselves like a five-star hotel. So we treat people like that. That's why we go to homes. We go to birthing suites. If anyone buys a Jasper in Austin, we hand deliver it to your home. We test the air in your home for free. We take the packaging away. If we had people all over the country, and maybe one day we will, we would do that for everybody. We're kind of like a local business. We're like an air quality education company that happened to make a good scrubber. So yeah, it's very industrial, cleans more air, looks better. It's got dark mode.
What would you say about the people that are on the fence and they're like, well, I want to try it, but can I return it within a certain period of time?
Yeah, and honestly, like we say 30 days technically, but I mean, usually you should know within the first week. Like it should be undeniable. So, and if you do, I just ask that you keep the box for the first month. If you don't, we will send you a free box, but it's just not a sustainable, not a good thing to do. So keep your box for like the first week or two until you love it or don't. Like 98% of people love it. You probably will too. So what I would say is this, and 60% of people who buy Jaspers previously had an air purifier and they're like, I just don't know if it was working. I never really changed the filter. It probably wasn't working. So here's the thing. Also, you can make a DIY air scrubber for under $150 in a couple of hours. That's going to be almost as good as Jasper at cleaning the air. So what I just don't want to happen is I don't want people to think the air is not the problem. 30% of people who put Jaspers in their bedroom that snore stop snoring. People's sleep scores go up, their sleep apnea goes down, people's seasonal allergies go away, their kids' asthma attacks go away. So I'm like loud and vocal on this air mission because I've seen how profound it can be for people's health, mine included. And it's the laziest way to be healthy. You don't have to do anything, just breathe clean air. Like if you breathe, like I think when you go to a naturopath and they're asking you hundreds of questions, but they forget to ask you about your air and water, before you do $3,000 worth of testing, like clean air in your bedroom, clean water for your drinking. Before you get to the shower and the bath and the hands and remineralizing and all that, filter your drinking water and scrub the air in the room that you breathe in. That's the table. That's the 80-20 of like reducing your talk, and don't wear shoes inside. And then from there, we can get into the perfumes and the fragrances and the better products and the pans and the ingredients and the candles. We can keep going down the rabbit hole, but drinking water and sleeping air, just get those two things done.
We have we have a Jasper in our bedroom as well, and we put it on the dark mode. And I know it's like not a necessity; it's like more of like a bougie feature. But I love the dark.
It's a necessity.
I think it is, but
it's
you know,
a necessity.
I'll say. And so we have it on the dark mode. So typically,
what fan speed are you using?
Oh, it's just on auto.
Turn it up if you don't mind.
Okay. I'll try and turn it up.
Fan speed 3 is where the life-changing sleep happens. Because if you hate noise, then fine, whatever. You have a lot of Jaspers in your home, but it's fan speed 3 is when people stop snoring. That's when the air is like 40 times cleaner and you have like a clean air sanctuary.
Okay, so I'm writing that down. Fan speed 3.
Yeah, so the one in the living room, you typically want to keep on smart mode to detect your cooking and stuff. The bedroom ones, fan speed 3, and 91% of Jasper customers, they like sleeping with white noise. Jasper is actually like pink noise. So this way, instead of having some EMF producing speaker pretending to be air, a Jasper in your bedroom, fan speed 3 dark mode, that's where, if that doesn't make you feel awesome, and then it's undeniable. Like you're just going to feel awesome. And then when you turn it off, often you start to panic because you feel the dust, you feel the heaviness. It's like if you start drinking filtered water, it's really hard to go back to tap water.
Okay, I'm doing that tonight, fan speed 3. But we love the dark mode because there's no lights, right? And there's nothing like disrupting the ambiance in our bedroom, which is amazing because no one else, I haven't seen this on any other
So a lot of them have sleep mode, which turns off the light, but it turns the air filter down to a super low fan speed. I joke, the only thing that's going to sleep is the air filter, not you. For you to sleep, I want clean air. I like the pink noise. So yeah, that's the way to go by far. And that's the big difference. But the DIY ones, so $150, if you Google Corsi Rosenthal box or like DIY air purifier, you'll find a couple different designs. They're great. The downsides are it will take a few hours of your time and they'll be ugly and they won't have any smart features. And they won't have warranties and things like that, but it won't break. But like if you live in LA and you want something for the wildfires, or you just want something for your kid's bedroom or for your dorm, or you just can't afford it, I would much rather you spend that $150 and make something that works than getting hustled by a little scammy, cheap plastic box full of empty promises that does nothing, just EMFs you. That's not cool. So Jasper is not for everyone. At our core, we're here as an air education company. So I feel like I'm winning if you crack your windows, if you don't wear your shoes inside, if you're paying attention to fragrances. I'm doing my job here. This is my job to share that message. I made Jasper for myself and my family. My wife likes interior design. We like aesthetic. We're the kinds of people. Could you buy a $19 kettle from Walmart that will heat your water? Maybe plastic, maybe not in the water. We don't know. But it looks ugly. And when you're done making your tea, you hide it. Or you get the like $99 kettle from like Restoration Hardware and it's glass or it's black and it looks nice and it's decor and you leave it out. That's what Jasper is. So Jasper's for people who want like commercial grade air scrubbing that looks beautiful with service excellence. That's who we made it for. So there's a lot of other products out there that might have the effectiveness without the support or without the design. Great. But the DIY option is really, really good. It won't have the sensing technology and stuff like that. But hey, if you just want something to clean the air in your bedroom, that's a really good option for a lot of people.
I love that you're educating people and giving people options, because not everyone, has the option to just get an extra air scrubber.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? You've seen my home and I like aesthetics as well. And it's beautiful to look at. If it's ugly, like I actually have like stress, like it stresses me out to have like too many
Glad you said that.
things around. And so it helps me to have something nice to look at.
I think a huge thing that's not talked about is actually like I think design is a huge wellness thing. Forget just the materials and all that, but think about this. Imagine the room you were in right now. It could have low VOC paints and all that, but imagine the walls were like black and pink. Okay, like why does bad lighting impact you? It's because you're putting it in your eyes. So if you have an environment that has even fake plants, right? Like it doesn't matter. But if it's calming, soft colors, light colors, it's a design that feels good. The design and how you see a room, good design makes you feel different. Design can be very calming. So like, there's a brand called Air Doctor, for example, and even their big one, their 5,000 machine was actually a good air cleaning machine. It cleans the air really well, but it's so ugly and it's huge. So everybody hides them in the closets. And now they're walking by and they're tripping over it. And they had this like beautiful room and then they wanted cleaner air, but the trade-off was this big, loud, ugly machine. So I think design and decor is actually related to health, because if you don't feel good, so I call Jasper functional art, and music is art. Paintings can be art, products can be art, and things that look good, that make you feel good, I actually think can contribute to calmness.
Oh, I 100% agree. Like 10,000. We can talk about that forever, but I think anyone can agree. If they walk into a room, it's clean lines, very minimal, that's good lighting. They just have this sense of like,
Yeah.
Okay, I can relax here.
Mm-hmm.
And so to people listening, this is
aesthetics is the real feature.
For sure. Like go out and clean out your closet. Like this is no relation to air, but just like, take stuff to the Goodwill and donate, because that's going to create great health benefits. All right. So if people do want a Jasper, where can they get them and what's the deal? Maybe this is coming out like Christmas
we got a
time.
Deal. No, it's coming up on Black Friday season, November 21. Very soon. So here's the deal. It's Black Friday season. Basically, all year long, we just educate. And we used to not do Black Friday. We didn't want to discount or devalue the brand. I don't think that's cool at all. We want to make clean air as affordable as possible for people. That's why we've kept getting the price down over the years. So Jasper is still $11.99. But what we're going to do, between now, November 21st, and the end of November, which will take us through Black Friday. You might notice on our website there's like a Black Friday offer. It's probably a big one, but code DIGEST, it's going to be like a little bit over $400 off. It will be at least $400 off. So code DIGEST, pop that in on the website. So from today until November 30th, Jaspr is spelled JASPR.co, and it will be $400 off. So Jasper's will be $7.99. This is the cheapest that they will ever be. That is my guarantee to you. They will never be cheaper than that. And
so they're regularly $1,200, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to be $7.99. This is
exactly
insane. And do you have bulk deals? Like if you buy 1, 2, 3?
So normally throughout the year, yes, we do. But in this case, we're just giving the biggest deal to everybody. Because, we like to incentivize all that. But like the deal is already bigger. So like, we give 10% off for 2, 15% off for 3, 20% off for 4. $400 off is like 35% or whatever. So it's like, let's just give the biggest deal to everybody. So if people want one for their bedroom or one for their kid's bedroom, if you're just getting one bedroom, fan speed 3 dark mode for sure. And yeah, get as many as feels right for you. But if not, look into a DIY option. So yeah, code DIGEST, DIGEST, JASPR.co. We do have Instagram where we do a lot of educating and things like that, Jasper Co. But yeah, if you want to get one and try one between now and the end of the month, this is the cheapest. Jasper is the best air scrubber in the world, and this is the cheapest it will ever be. So, and for whoever this is right for, it's for you. And,
you got 30 days to try it out too with your like warranty and like return policy. So I feel like you can't lose with this great deal. And if you, for whatever reason, don't like it, you can return it and you don't even have to pay for shipping.
So it's like a $1,000 air purifier, kind of expensive. But in this case, we're talking 20, like for like $3,000, you have a whole home air filtration system where you're breathing 20 times cleaner air throughout your whole home. And like, the average person gets 18% more deep sleep with 25 minutes more sleep per night. So it's like, if that happens for you, this is cheaper than any supplements or any bed or anything you've ever purchased. And with that newfound energy, the abundance will be very obvious. So yeah, we like to make it risk-free. Like it either makes your life better and it's the best deal ever, or if it doesn't, and we'll take it back.
Okay. One more question.
Yeah.
Do you have payment options? Like, can people do payments? Because I'm thinking if this is going to be like $7.99, that's like less than $100 a month.
I wish we did. We tried it. The issue was with the online and the Shopify, it wouldn't let them like sign up for filter subscriptions and stuff. It was really creating a lot of issues. So, I mean, we'll let the credit card or the bank or the friend do that.
Or Klarma. I don't know if like Klarma is,
so
one of those things.
Unfortunately, like we don't. And I'm sorry. In the future, if we can, we will. Like we'd love to.
It was just a question because some people are interested, but I think, like I told you at the beginning, I'm gifting Jaspers to all of our family members. And I think this is a great gift idea if you already have a Jaspr, or if you want to, you just feel like maybe it's like your grandmother, and she's like in one of those homes, and like you're just like, I need to give her some quality of life, in retirement homes and things like that. This is just a great thing to give someone is health. Thanks for listening to this episode of Digest This. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review in your podcast app to let us know. If you're ever wondering how you can support me and this podcast, sharing it with your friends and family is the best way. This is a Wellness Loud production produced by Drake Peterson and edited by Mike Fry. To check out more shows by my team, go to wellnessloud.com, and to email the show, message us at digestthispod@gmail.com. See you next time. The content of this show is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for individual medical and mental health advice and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. As always, talk to your doctor or health team first.
Are you looking to reclaim your health? Tune into the Real Foodology podcast, hosted by me, Courtney Swan, integrative nutritionist and real food activist. I am on a mission to transform our food system by challenging the corrupt practices that undermine our health and replace them with choices that genuinely support our well-being. Listen to Real Foodology podcast on your favorite podcast app. New episodes every Tuesday.